what's so great about them? The fact that they're fucking awesome. There's so many video games out there that are awesome. And when you have awesome games, you make awesome sequels. When you have awesome sequels, you have awesome franchises. And when you have awesome franchises, well, I make lists about my top 15 favorite video game franchises. Now keep in mind, this is my favorite top 15 video game franchises. So if there's a franchise that you like and is not on this list, don't be a bitch about it. So without further ado, let's jump into this, shall we?
Jump and shoot, man! Jump and shoot!
What can be said about the Blue Bomber himself? Let's see. Oh yeah, the fact that he's fucking awesome. Mega Man is the kind of game you get when you fuse Mario with Metroid and add in 8 bosses and then a shit ton of forms for just one final boss. I like all the series in this franchise, especially the X games. Why? Because it's fucking Mega Man X, that's why! Battle Network was cool, Mega Man Star Force was good too, Mega Man Legends was eh. But hey, that's why it's only number 15 on this list. I still don't see why people want Mega Man Legends 6 so badly though. But hey, I'm not here to bash on the franchise, I'm here to compliment how great of a franchise that these games belong to. But unfortunately, this is the only Capcom game on this list, so no Okami. It would make it onto the list if it had more than 2 games, because to me, that's what makes a franchise. Anyway, next franchise. Oh, what's not to love about a video game character without limbs? Nothing, I say. Nothing can beat such a strong love. Anyway, Rayman is that kind of game you look at and say, hey, Ubisoft's a pretty good fucking company. I mean, an awesome platforming game that stars a guy, eggplant, without arms or legs? I gotta give it to this guy. He's doing good for himself. Let's see where he's gone recently. Oh. But hey, we're out of the rabbit's phase of Ubisoft now. They're actually making good games like Assassin's Creed Unity and Valiant Hearts. So where does that leave our big-nosed friend? Oh, so beautiful. I've never seen so much beauty in all my life before. Now, I'm not bashing on the Rabbids as a whole, I'm just saying that the first 2 games were alright, then they made more, and more, and more. God damn it, Ubisoft, I don't care about your fucking bunnies anymore. If I wanted to see bunnies, I'd go on Cartoon Network and watch a Looney Tunes marathon for 8 hours. Boy, I sure do love me some monkeys. But you wanna know what rhymes with monkey? Donkey. And the name of a monkey is Kong. And thus, that was the start of Nintendo's amazing career as a video game company. Thank you, Lord. We thank you for all that you've done. Donkey Kong is an amazing franchise. When it started off, it was awesome, although I don't think the original 3 hold up well today. Although, might I add, Donkey Kong Jr. Man is the best game ever. Hands down 10 out of 10. So eventually Nintendo's like, shit, we don't want to make Donkey Kong games anymore. I know, let's just give it to somebody else. Let's see what you've made. Battletoad, cool. Here, have a monkey. Give it cool 3D graphics. Oh, and don't forget tires, bananas, beavers, and crocodiles. Those are the most important things we need in this game. And thus, Donkey Kong Country was born. This game was truly awesome. It's what made Donkey Kong Donkey Kong. Then the Microsoft buyout of Rareware happened, which crushed our hearts forever. So Nintendo's like, shit, we got nobody to make Donkey Kong games anymore. I know, let's make a bunch of Lemon games and give Donkey Kong to a game company that makes first-person shooters, while we still make Lemon games. And that's the story on how Retro Studios became the new Rareware.
Yeah, fast! Oh yeah, fast! I like going fast, fast is fun!
Oh, okay. This isn't fast nor is it fun. I don't understand. Sonic the Hedgehog is an amazing franchise about stopping an evil genius and going fast. What more of an explanation do you need? Anyway, Sonic has had a few downfalls, and trust me, I've been through those downfalls, and they weren't pretty. But I feel as if Sonic has really gotten up onto his feet once more with recent games like Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations. Sonic Lost World I'm not too fond of, but hey, Sonic Boom looks cool, but I feel as if they're kind of overhyping the game. I mean, the TV show is cool and all, but merchandise, comic books, and trading cards? Might I ask what one would do with Sonic the Hedgehog trading cards where Knuckles the Echidna looks like Hulk Hogan painted red? Also, fingers? What? Fingers what? Also, they're giving Sonic way too many friends in this one. But at least the gameplay looks promising. Also, Sonic Team is working on another Sonic game while Big Red Button is working on Sonic Boom, so that's awesome. Also, apparently with this whole new video game movie craze, Sega's all like, oh well, might as well jump in on this bandwagon too. Animal Crossing. One of the most peaceful video game franchises, holding up amazingly well for today's standards, seeing as how all the games are with the killing and the shooting and the whatnot. But Animal Crossing is unique, even for a Nintendo game. The games keep you locked onto it 24/7, and it's so addicting and fun, especially with New Leaf. You get to customize the town's people, your house, your outfits, your fucking face. You're able to customize anything. All the neighbors you meet in the games are relatable and lovable. The constantly in debt part of the games, I feel as if, is a nice mechanic that always wants you getting money, but not to spend too much if you want to customize your house. And with Wi-Fi and whatnot, you can connect to other people's towns and be able to get things you normally wouldn't be able to get in your own town, and it's awesome! Basically, Animal Crossing is one of those franchises you play when you want to relax and have a good time, and then eventually to end up playing it every day because it's so addicting. What happens when you put some of the greatest video game franchises ever conceived by mankind, except for maybe Rob, and put them all in a fighting game? You get... That's right, the only real fighting genre franchise on this list is none other than the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. Now you're probably all like, what? How come it's only number 10? Yeah, I get it, I'm not treating the franchise with the respect that it deserves. Boy, wait until you see the next entry on this list. The reason why it's number 10 is because I'm not all that into fighting games, really. I put Smash Bros. On this list because it goes away from the norm. It doesn't have that fighting game formula. Sure, you still have the same objective, beat the living shit out of someone until they end up dying, but the way you play the game is so much more than that. In a normal fighting game, you would knock away people's health until they are KO'd, but with Smash, it counts up instead of down. The higher the percent the enemy is at, the farther they'll go flying. And the way you kill your opponent is to knock them out of bounds. Kind of like sumo wrestling in a way. And that's why I like the stages in Smash Bros. They're built around this new fighting game mechanic so that the only way you can kill them is by knocking them off screen. With every other fighting game in existence, it's just the same stage, but with a different background, with an occasional head popping up. Also with Smash, you don't have to enter a cheat code just to do one attack. It's just a direction and a button. It's so simple, yet it works amazingly. Oh god, I've made a horrible mistake, haven't I? Might as well start digging my own grave here. Yes, I know it's only number 9, but to be honest, I don't like Zelda as much as the other franchises on this list. But I still like the franchise nonetheless. I mean, that's why it's even on the list at all. I like Zelda because of its sense of adventure and wonder, and it feels as if Ocarina of Time ruined that aspect of adventure and made it more combat-centric. A lot of the games I enjoy, like A Link Between Worlds and Wind Waker, but there are some that I hate, like the CDI games. I don't like Ocarina of Time all that much, and don't even get me started on Skyward Sword. But Zelda has always been there as an adventure game, and even as Zelda is as it is today, that's how it started. With the newer Zelda games, the games tell you what to do, and not you telling yourself what you want to do. But with Link Between Worlds, it changed everything back to Zelda is supposed to be. With the Hyrule Warriors coming out, it looks awesome as a spin-off game. If Nintendo ends up making the game canon, then we're going to start having a problem. And the new one, which we don't even have a name for, has robot spiders. A Link to the Future, everyone, because Zelda realizes that A Link to the Past was the best Zelda game. Like I said earlier on in this video, there are no other Capcom games. Objection! Oh yeah, how could I forget about my favorite attorney? An ace attorney, if you will. These games are some of the best experiences I've ever had playing a game. Even though there's not much, well, game in this game, it's still fun to play through my eyes. Dialogue is some of the most well-crafted dialogue I've ever seen. So many twists, so many awesome parts in these games. The cases, the characters, the everything. These games are amazing, especially the parts where you catch the witness in a lull right then and there, and see them for who they really are, which is usually the murderer. When you do that, it's so satisfying. When you find all the things that you've done to catch the culprit with your smarts and wittiness to outsmart the prosecutor is the most satisfying feeling I've ever gotten out of playing a video game. I just know play the games I like? Why? How could everyone's favorite chubby Italian plumber not make it onto this list? It just has to be. Why? Because it's fucking Mario! What's not to like about it? You run and jump, what more do you need from a game? There's only one problem with the games that I don't like, which is the story. It's the same thing every time. Super Mario 64, kidnap a princess. Super Mario Sunshine, kidnap a princess. Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, kidnap a princess. Super Mario 3D World, he kidnapped 7 princesses! I do have to give Mario credit though. He's tried everything, ranging from golf, tennis, soccer, go-karts, basketball, volleyball, dodgeball, hockey, parties, fucking mariachi band member? Why would this guy need to do all these things? As a matter of fact, I've never seen a game where Mario actually does plumbing. Just regular, everyday plumbing. Granted, that would be a boring game. Some of my favorite Mario games are the RPG-based ones, because, well, 1, it's an RPG, 2, it's Mario, and 3, the stories are different for once. Hail to the motherfucking kings of all gaming companies. These kings are referred to as Rareware. They made such amazing games like I had stated, Donkey Kong games, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. But now they're just making pinatas and avatars. But none of those games amount to anything like Banjo and Kazooie. This is the best collection of games ever created, and of course they were created by the kings. Anyway, Banjo-Kazooie is a platform collecting things kind of game with multiple things hidden throughout a level like music notes, Jinjos, Jiggies, power-ups, eggs, honeycombs, you name it. And these are hidden throughout every inch of all the world to explore, and I love this aspect of a game. It allows you to get to know the world better. I mean, such colorful worlds, why would you not want to get to know them better? Then the Microsoft buyout, and now avatars, pinatas, and...
Cars? Cars?
Thank you, Shigesato Itoi, for blessing us with these 3 masterpieces. Ah yes, who could deny the fact that the Mother series is a god among RPGs? No one. No one can deny that, except for some friend of mine who shall go unnamed. Anyway, the Mother games are amazing. A cute and quirky RPG series that appeals to all sorts of people. Some of my favorite things about the franchise is how the mood can change any way, at any time. It can be funny, then weird, then scary, then funny again. And that's the kind of charm you get nowhere else except from a Mother game. Now, just letting you know, I'm a huge RPG fan if you didn't catch that by a lot of entries on this list. And Mother is amazing. It barely makes the cut due to there being only 3. It's a good thing he didn't stop at 2, or else I would never have experienced the beauty that is known as Mother 3. And hey, there's a fan-made Mother 4 being made, so that's awesome. That's how much the community wants it, Itoi. I like Kid Icarus games. Then Uprising released, and now I love the franchise, but more needs to be said. For as much as I just praised the Mother franchise, calling it the god of RPG franchises, well, what I have here is a god of RPG franchises. Weird coming from an atheist, I know. But hey, this franchise has a god. Its name is Arceus. Who could leave out such a masterpiece of gaming known as Pokemon? Pokemon has been amazing all generations. Even some of the spin-offs were amazing. Some other spin-offs, not so much. But I can say that I adore every single generation of Pokemon, except for maybe Gen 4. I didn't really like it all that much. As the others, I got bored with it after a little while. But with all the other generations, you never get bored, because the story, the interesting Pokemon, the characters, the world, everything about Pokemon is purely awesome. It's probably the most unique RPG series I've ever played. You have so many choices for party members, you have over 718 party member choices, and it's nuts! Unfortunately, you can only hold 6 on your Pokemon. But almost everything is unique. The moveset, the moves themselves, you can put items on your Pokemon can level up, you can evolve into even more Pokemon. It's awesome! Also, might I add that my personal favorite generation is Gen 6, but my former favorite generation was Gen 3. And then I saw Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and that shit blew my goddamn mind. You know, for a franchise to have a protagonist be a heroine, it's pretty damn good at appealing to both sides. Who could forget the ever so awesome yet ever so mysterious Metroid? This franchise doesn't have words to describe its level of epicness. It's just that good. The deep, dark worlds that have you on the edge of your seat waiting for something to happen but still leaves you with a sense of adventure and makes you want to continue through the caves of Norfair anyway. The games are amazing, my personal favorite being Super Metroid. It's always appealed to me. Each and every single installment is amazing, except for maybe Metroid Pinball, which somehow found its way onto the Metroid timeline. Also, the first game in the franchise did something that no other game in the 80s had done before. The ability to walk to the left. And when you do so, you get rewarded, which is awesome. This franchise is a speedrunner's dream. Why? Because you can sequence break the shit out of almost every game in the franchise. There's no punishment for doing so. Even if you're doing 100% run, there's still little punishment to you. Because most areas that allow sequence breaking, the part of the game you're skipping doesn't have any items you can collect. There's almost no power-ups to go out of the way from the normal path. And if there is, there's usually 2 power-ups. When you get there, I've grown to love this because it brings me enjoyment of where I want to go. And yes, there are some points where you have to backtrack, and I like this, because, like I said, it allows you to get to know the world better. The eerie, creepy, scary, terrifying world. Now before we get to number 1, I'd like to give credit to 2 franchises that didn't quite make the cut. Kirby and Yoshi. I like Yoshi because of its colorful graphics, unique story, and amazing gameplay. The fact that you can eat enemies and use them as a weapon is awesome. But you wanna know who does that better? Kirby, of course. Why? Because when you eat the enemy, it doesn't turn them into an egg, no. You steal their soul and become one with the creature. And that shit is awesome. So without further ado, let's get to number 1. Why does nobody play the games that I like? And especially in this case. I've seen many videos like this, but none of them ever seem to include this franchise. I'm so confused as to why it's not on there. It's none other than Fire Emblem. The god of a god of a god of strategy RPGs. It's very rarely I see someone talk about my favorite franchise, Fire Emblem, so I might as well step up to the plate. Fire Emblem is an amazing franchise with many lovable characters and a unique twist on the RPG formula, where if your party members die, they're dead forever, no seeing them ever again. And I know I didn't talk about this, but that's why I like F-Zero a lot. You don't see Lakitu fish you up from the depths of hell, and that was over, you're dead, you lost the race. Anyway, back onto Fire Emblem. This was a game franchise created by Intelligent Systems, who are famous for Paper Mario games, WarioWare games, Advance Wars, and even Super Metroid. So how about that shit? There's gotta be a connection somewhere, guys. Half-Life 3 semi-confirmed. Anyway, Fire Emblem is that kind of game franchise that has always given me that sense of adventure that no other franchise could. Zelda sure tried and got pretty damn close to it until Ocarina of Time when it fucked it up. Fire Emblem gives you the sense of being able to be smart about how you go about playing a game. Do you want to send your Pegasus at the Axe Knight, or perhaps send in an archer to attack from a distance? Because the axe is a powerful weapon, but that may leave an opening for the enemy mage to attack your swordsman. It really gets you thinking on how to play the game. And seeing as how there's this whole once you're dead system is in the game, it really makes you think to choose the exact right decision. One wrong move and bam, you just lost a whole line of party members. Anyway, my favorite game in the franchise is Genealogy of the Holy War. It introduced the love system, which has made only one appearance, although it's had many variations in the other games. In Genealogy of the Holy War, you can pair up 2 party members, which lead to relationship, which lead to marriage, which leads to children, and depending on the number of people you pair up to make children with, and who you paired up, it will affect the second half of the game drastically, seeing as how you play as their children continuing the legacy. And one of their children, Leaf, who is the default to play as in the second half, eventually grows up to and becomes the protagonist of Trade Kit 776. And that is definitely the most unique, different, yet still awesomely awesome gameplay mechanic I've ever seen in my life. Well, there you have it, my top 15 favorite video game franchises. I thank you for watching, and what's that? A ton of comments about what I said about Ocarina of Time? Whatever, fuck it.